Presentation Design Academy. My name is Sydney Ubeda. First off, let me start by introducing myself. Let me tell you the reason why I am the best person to teach you about presentation design. I've been designing presentations for trainings, for investment pitches, for proposal presentation since 2006, and I've been able to perfect it over time. And I've also trained bankers, pastors, entrepreneurs, government officials on how to create effective and engaging PowerPoint slide. And I've been doing this for the past 10 years, so I know what I'm talking about. And today I want to spell out some things that you need to know before you start creating your presentation. So I've titled these Keys to Designing Engaging Slides. All right. So I say that this webinar is not about public speaking. Okay, it's not about public speaking skills. Although I coach on presentation and public speaking skills. But for this webinar, we want to talk about how or what you need to create engaging PowerPoint slide. So that is what we are talking about here today. It's about designing great looking slides that will move and inspire your people to action. When I say your people, I'm talking about your audience. The objective for every presentation, every speaking engagement, every opportunity you have to showcase an idea, to present an idea, to present a pitch, to present a talk, is to help your audience understand your point, your idea, and also help them to take action. Every presentation that does not end up in action taking did not achieve its objective. So we are about to talk about how to create great looking slides that will move your people to taking action. That is what we want to talk about here today. And the reason we are majoring on presentation design, because someone will ask, someone will be asking, why should I even spend time? Why should I spend resources? Why should I bother about how my PowerPoint slides look? Why can't I just use the default placeholders, templates, designs that comes with PowerPoint and just present? Now, the reason is this: vision is the most dominant sense for humans. So that means if your presentation is not visually engaging, you will not be able to get the attention or retain the attention of your audience. Now, you need to know this, very, very important. Attention is becoming very, very scarce. It's becoming very, very expensive. So every opportunity you have to present to an audience, the number one thing you want to achieve is not to go and pour out what you've prepared. Rather, it is to get the attention of your audience and retain it all through the duration of your presentation. And to do that, your PowerPoint slide needs to be engaging, needs to be visually appealing. So that is why we are talking, we're spending time and resources to making sure that our slides are visually appealing. So your presentation must move people, must inspire them. Okay, must move people and inspire them. So I say, don't bore your audience, gore them, inspire them, move them, let them take action. And for you to do that, your verbal presentation is not enough, because people are easily distracted. There are distractions everywhere. I'm sure that you've experienced this. You are giving presentations and somebody's looking at his phone or her phone. Somebody's trying to reply text message, somebody's trying to reply WhatsApp message, somebody's trying to see what's up on Instagram. Why? Because there are a lot of things calling for attention these days. So you need to make sure that your presentation is equally engaging as Instagram, YouTube, and other social media platforms that are visually driven. So you must make sure that your presentation is visually appealing. Now, the rule here is this: you must make your presentation full. Your presentation must have lots of pictures. Why? Because pictures helps you make more impact than text. And another reason why your presentation must be visually appealing is because we have better recall for visual information. The human brain has better recall for visual information. You might forget what you hear, but you hardly forget what you see. So it's important that what your audience see is engaging and it's powerful enough that it will help them recall all you are presenting to them. So what we are talking about here today is about data visualization, how to make your data, your content visually appealing. So what is data visualization? Data visualization is a presentation of data in a pictorial or graphical format that enables your audience, right, to see analytics presented visually, so they can grasp difficult concepts and identify new patterns. You want to help your audience grasp your attention, grasp your idea. You want to help them make decisions. You want to help them understand your points. So to achieve that, your data must be visually appealing. Look at this image, for example. I know I don't need to say much for you to understand what I'm talking about. Placing this image in front of you, you already know what I want to talk about. And so that is the kind of effect you want to have with your presentation. You want to show your audience a presentation, and you want them to understand even before you open your mouth. And also you want to spark their curiosity. Okay, so that is what you want to achieve. So your presentation must give the same effect this slide just give to you, to your audience. So they say picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Yeah, I'm sure you are familiar with this word. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Okay, now these are facts that I want to read out to us. Number one, the brain can see images that last for 13 milliseconds. So it means that if your audience just want to give you a short at a time of their duration, of their attention to you, if you can show them an image, a visual that will send your message across, they will definitely get what you have to say. Okay, and our eyes can register 36,000 visual messages per hour. So it means that we are all visual driven. So if you want to make impact with your presentation, you must make sure your presentation is visually appealing. I cannot stop emphasizing this because I see a lot of presentations that are boring, right? They are not hitting the mark at all. Why? Because they are going against this rule that says that a human brain, all right, can see images that last for milliseconds. So that means you must give them images, visual, so that your presentation can make impact. We are wired to notice patterns. All right, these are facts that I'm just rolling out to us. The human brain is wired to notice patterns. Okay, so you need to know how to convert your visual into your presentation or your data or your content into engaging visual. So I said to do this, your presentation must be compelling. So you need to design a compelling presentation that communicates your message. So your slide must not be cluttered, text heavy, or ugly. So if you want to design a compelling presentation that communicates your message, your slides must not be cluttered, text heavy or ugly. That is what we see around these days. Okay? Because we don't pay attention to boring things. See, the human brain does not pay attention to boring things. So that is why when you are presenting to an audience and your presentation is boring, this is what you get. All right? This is what you get. In fact, you might not see people sleeping like this, but they are looking at you and they are not there. Their mind is somewhere else. If they are not falling asleep, you get this distractions. They start bringing out their phones, reading text messages, going on Facebook, on Instagram, replying WhatsApp messages. Why? Because you are not giving them what they want. All right? So you must make sure that every slide that you show to your audience is engaging them visually, is strong on visual, not just text, because we don't want to read text. All right, so look at this. After every 10 minutes your audience attention steadily drops. I can even say that is lower than 10 minutes right now, because we are being bombarded by a lot of information on Instagram, on WhatsApp, text messages, emails. They are bombarding us with a lot of engaging visuals. So it means that your audience, I'm sure there are some of them, their attention after every 5 minutes their attention steadily drops. So you need to show them, give them something that will make them stay with you all through your presentation, the duration of your presentation. So I say do something emotionally relevant at every 10-minute mark, and I say this: what you need is visual. Okay, is visual, strong visual, impactful one. That's what you need. Presentation design is not about decoration. I need to quickly say this because right now I'm sure some people are thinking in their head, oh, okay, good. So it means that I need to make my presentation active, my slides active with visuals, colors here and there. No, it is not about decoration. It's about communication. Any element that will not communicate your idea, do not put it on your presentation. Okay, you want to put an image, you want to use a color, you want to use a diagram. If it is not going to enhance your communication, it's not going to affect your communication positively, it's not going to help you pass across your message effectively, take it out. All right, take it out, because it's going to end up becoming a distraction. So let's look at the things that you need to do. Number one, make it simple. Make your presentation very simple. PowerPoint was created as a convenient way to display graphical information that would support the speaker. Okay, so it should supplement your presentation. Make it simple. Now, why I'm saying this is this: a lot of people would rather post or display everything they want to say on their slides. So that means their audience will take the attention off them and they'll start reading the slide. You don't want that for yourself. You are still the main deal. You are the main person they came to listen to. So make sure that you get their attention is on you. So your PowerPoint is only helping you retain that attention during your presentation. So make it simple. Look at this image I have here. This is a slide. It is simple, but it can be simpler. Look at this one. All right. So take, for example, you show to your audience a slide that says 72% of part-time workers in Japan are women. Okay, you said something. As a matter of fact, they can say, okay, move to the next slide. Let's see what you have to say. But when you show them this next one, okay, right here, that says 72%, and it only shows an image of a woman, automatically they are thinking in their head, what is he trying to say? All right, what is he trying to say about women that has to do with 72%? And whenever you get your audience to think about what you are showing to them, it means that you've gotten their attention. So at that point is the right time to strike and present your idea. You want to always raise the curiosity of your audience so that their attention is on you. Okay, so make it simple. That is rule number one. Okay, if you are not giving a document, if you are not going to present a document, you should not have 72 plus words on the slide, otherwise it becomes a document. Okay, so we'll dig deep on this later on in our class as we forge ahead in our presentation. Point number two, limit your bullet points and text. What the rule is this: have nothing more than 3 points per slide. Why? Because the human brain can only focus effectively on 3 points per time. When I say effectively, I mean the human brain will focus on it and retain the information. If you have more than 7, the human brain will not be able to retain and recall it. So have 3 points per slide. All right, 3 points per slide. Rule number 3: use transitions and animations with caution. Some people like animations, they like a lot of transitions, a lot of movement on their slides. It is fine, I know you like it, but when it is too much, it becomes a distraction. So your audience will focus on the movement and forget about what you are trying to pass across to them. So use it with caution. In fact, do not use the combination of transition and animation on a slide. Now let me explain what transition and animation, the difference between transition and animation. Transition is the movement you apply to the is the effect you apply to the movement of your slide from slide 1 to slide 2. While animation is the effect you apply to elements you have on the slide. All right. Rule number 4: use high quality images and icons. This is another area where a lot of people get it wrong. So they just go on Google and search for one image and copy it and paste it. When they stretch it, it pixelates, and when it pixelates, it becomes very blur. So it becomes blurry. And when you do that, your audience will see that there's something wrong with your presentation. So I have recommendations here. For images, you can use unsplash.com and pixabay.com. These are my favorites. There are others, okay? There are others that you can use, and they are free, okay? They are free and they have quality images. Then for icons and illustrations, I use freepik.com and find icons. They have premium icons there and illustrations, but they also have free ones that you can use in your presentation. All right, use quality images. Use quality images. Another thing, error or mistake people make when they use images is when they want to reduce or increase the size, they stretch it by the sides or the top and the bottom. That is wrong. When you do that, you distort the orientation of your image. So the best way to do it is to increase it by the angles. Okay, in my advanced presentation design class, I teach this rule to my audience. Okay, let's move on. Rule number 5: design your own theme. Avoid using PowerPoint templates. Design your own theme. It is simple. It's the first class. It's the first thing I teach when I facilitate in Presentation Design Academy. It's the first thing we teach our students, how to design their templates, so that you don't use the default templates that comes with PowerPoint. Now you ask me why, and I'll tell you this. Take for example, you are going to present somewhere and there are other presenters. Say you are going to pitch an idea, or you are going to speak in an occasion, and you have other speakers that are coming to present to, and you are all using PowerPoint. Because the default themes are available to everybody, so if other speakers decide to use the same theme that you are using, it means that you are all going to be the same, and your chances of standing out will be cutting down. So design your own templates, all right, so that there will be consistency. Also, that is another thing. I say standard templates, like the ones you find on PowerPoint, are ugly. They don't communicate. They kill. Look at this, for example. These are standard templates. There are better ways you can present all this. Better ways you can do this. This is the no-go area. All right. Rule number 6: use appropriate charts. Okay. Use appropriate charts and what do you call them now? Charts and graphs. Use appropriate ones. I'll take you through some charts and the reasons or the appropriate uses of these charts. For example, for pie chart, you use it to show percentages. All right, use it to show percentages. And again, when you use the default designs, tweak it, make it look different, make it look beautiful, change the colors. The figure will remain, but you can change the color, make it look appealing. Okay, for vertical bar chart, use it to show changes. Okay, and we say it's best if you limit the bars to 4 to 8 bars, so that like I said earlier on, your audience cannot focus on a lot of ideas or points per slides. I will say you should just stick on to 4. Stick with 4. Excuse me. Stick with 4. 4 bars. Okay. Excuse me. There, I have to take water. So let's move on. Horizontal bar chart is used to compare quantities. For example, comparing says figures amongst the 4 regions or amongst 4 quarters of the year. You can use horizontal bars for that. For a line chart, it is used to demonstrate trends. Okay. Again, in the academy, we teach. We have a whole module that talks about charts and graph, which teach how to create custom charts and visually engaging charts. Rule number 7: use colors creatively. Use colors creatively. See, colors are powerful. With colors, you might not need to say a lot and your audience will get your message. Take, for example, if you are presenting to a group of bankers, color red would send a different message than from when you are communicating to a group of doctors. Color red to a group of doctors stands for life because it's the color of blood. Okay. Color red to a group of bankers stands for deficit. Red stands for deficit. Okay. So you must use the right colors for the right audience and make sure you use colors to send your message across. Okay. Now let's look at how to use these colors. I say use soft on the eyes, easy on the eyes colors such as light blue, turquoise blue, light orange, and the like. So, and again, use contrasting colors. So a color, if you're using a dark background, you should use a light test color. If you're using a light background, you should use a dark test color so that there'll be a contrast. Okay. These are color categories: warm colors, cool colors, and monochromatic colors. So for warm colors, you have red, orange, and yellow. Okay. For cool colors, you have green, blue, and purple. And for monochromatic colors, you have black, white, and gray. Again, we teach this in our academy, the emotions each color represents and how to use them to make impact. Okay. So I've said this before. I say if you are presenting in a dark room, such as a large hall, a dark background with a light test will work very fine for you. Rule number 8: use the right fonts. This is another area where a lot of people make mistakes. Take, for example, you like Comic Sans because it's attractive to you, and you want to use it in a very serious presentation. You'll be sending the wrong message. Why? Because Comic Sans is a beautiful font, but it is a font for teenagers, for children. So if you are going to give a professional presentation, stick to the fonts that are more or less default on your computers. For example, Arial, Calibri, Times New Roman. They are professional fonts and they are serious fonts. Also, if you are creating presentations on behalf of your organization, please use the corporate fonts of your organization. So for the choice of font, pick simple fonts, okay, and your size should be at least 32 fonts for the title and 24 points for the other text that will follow. I will say the bigger the better. Now listen to this. Your presentation slide should look like a billboard. So what I mean is this: if you walk past or drive past a billboard and you can't get everything that is on the board, it means that the objective is not being met. All right, so that's how it is. If your audience cannot see what you have on the screen, they have to strain their eyes. If they can't see it, it means that you are not achieving your objective. So go bigger with font sizes. Okay. Also, do not use more than 3 styles per slide. I stick to 1 style or highest 2 styles per slide. Why? Because you want consistency. Okay, then like I said earlier, suggestions for font styles to use: Century Gothic, Times New Roman, Verdana, Lucida Sans, Calibri, Futura, Helvetica. These are beautiful fonts that you can never go wrong with. Okay, now look at this. This is very important here. This is very, very important, because a lot of people just use fonts for the fun of it, because they like it. There are two categories of fonts. There is sans serif and there is serif fonts. Okay, the sans serif fonts are the serif fonts are the fonts that have angles. Okay, they have angles like what you have here. This is a serif font. Why this is a sans serif font? Now, serif fonts are good when you want to present, or you want to present a lot of information on the screen, right? It is good. But if it's for a presentation, it is best you use sans serif fonts, because they are clean and beautiful to behold. Okay, so understand this and apply it whenever you want to use fonts. Okay, rule number 9: use videos or audios to power your slide. Use videos to power your slide. You can use video to create background. You can use videos to buttress your point. But the rule is, do not use a video that is more than 3 minutes length. As a matter of fact, you don't need 3 minutes length for your video, because it will take the attention of your audience. They'll leave your presentation and they'll focus on the video. So, but then you can use video to create background. You can use it to create effects, like what I did here. You can use it to create effect, and audio also you can use it to create effect, or use it judiciously. Okay, rule number 10: organize your slides to have a flow. According to segmentation of principles of multimedia learning theory, people comprehend better when information is presented in segments. All right, so organize it to have a flow. Don't just be jumping from one idea to another. Let your presentation tell a story. There's something we teach at our academy. It is called slide mapping. So what that does for you is it helps you to create your slide on a piece of paper before you get on PowerPoint. And once you do that, you are able to connect each slide to each other and make sure that they tell a story. Okay, it's a powerful tool. It will change the way you create PowerPoint slides, because it will help you put a lot of things into consideration. Number 1, timing, audience, and the story that you want to tell with your presentation. Okay, organize your slide. Make sure it has a flow. All right, so I said structure your presentation around the meaning and the big picture, and support your key ideas with details. So start your presentation on a piece of paper. You don't start with PowerPoint. Start it on a piece of paper, sketch it, draw it, jot down your ideas, and make sure they all connect to each other. This is what I was talking about, slide mapping. It's something we teach in our academy, and it has helped a lot of people to revolutionize the way they create presentation slides. All right. Okay. Key points to note. Key points to note while you are creating PowerPoint slide. Number 1, your audience. Your audience. See, whenever I have an opportunity to train or coach people on presentation skills, I make sure I make them understand that every opportunity you have to give a presentation, it is not about you. It is about your audience. It is not an opportunity to go show yourself. It's an opportunity to impact your audience. So it's about your audience, not about you. So one point to note is your audience. Ask yourself, whenever you have an opportunity to present or to create presentation slides, the first thing you should ask yourself is, who am I going to be presenting to? Who are my audience? Who am I talking to? Where are they coming from? What are their stories? What is their what is their background? What is their level of exposure, their level of understanding in my subject? So that will inform a lot of things. So when you have your audience considered in your presentation, it will tell you, it will inform on your choice of font, your choice of color, and your choice of images that you use. Okay, your audience is the number one thing to consider. Number two is the timing. Very important, the timing. If you have 10 minutes to give a presentation and you have 60 slides, you are deceiving yourself, because you will not be able to deliver everything. 10 minutes is not enough to deliver 60 slides. Why? Because you are not expected to be flipping through the slides and expect your audience to go with you by flipping. Your audience want to listen to you, they want to hear you talk. So 60 slides is not the right amount of the correct amount of slides to have for a 10 minutes presentation. If you have 10 minutes to give a presentation, the maximum amount of slides you should have should be 7 slides, and the 7th slide is the thank you slide, which is the closing slide. So timing is a key factor in designing your slide. Also, make sure you are thinking visuals. Every point you want to present to your audience, you're thinking of how you can visually present it. Think visuals, think visuals. You want to talk about health, think about how you can present it visually. You want to talk about time management, think about how you can present it visually. You want to talk about parenting, you want to talk about your business idea, think about how you can present it visually at all times, because that is what will help you to make the impact that you want to make. Okay, so I said, look at this. Hear a piece of information, and 3 days later you will remember 10% of it. See, let me tell you this. After your presentation, as soon as your audience walk out of the room, okay, they will forget up to 60% of what you said. Up to, as in right there and then, 60% will be forgotten. They will forget it. So you want to help your audience remember what you've said. So, but when they remember what they saw, they will remember what they heard. All right. So when you add a picture, you will remember 65% of what you've heard. So that means when we say picture, I'm not saying you must use an image of something, of someone. Just make it visually appealing. Use colors, use icons, use illustrations, use diagrams. Just make sure it's not text. Okay, so look at these 2 examples here. Look at it and tell me the one that makes more sense and meaning to you. I'm sure that is the first option here. Okay, the first option, because this would strike your audience. It will raise their curiosity. It will make them want to ask questions, and it's good when your audience are asking questions, because at that point they want to listen to the answers that you have to offer. Okay, colors also makes, like I said, colors can also help you make impact. It must not be images. You can use colors. Look at this. These are popular acronyms that you are familiar with. You will have to pay keen attention to it before you can read them out. But with colors, it creates contrast and also helps your audience to get the information quickly. All right. Font. I think I've talked about fonts. Okay, so font is another key point to put into consideration. Font, very important. I've been in an audience where someone was going to present. Okay, I think it was an interview. Yeah, and we asked every participant to present their idea on how they will take the business, the organization forward. And a guy who claimed to be a media person, okay, because it was a position for a marketing executive. He was presenting to us, and his font, the font that he decided to use was Comic Sans. Comic Sans. I thought I was the only one that was finding it uncomfortable. My other panelists were also finding it uncomfortable, but they couldn't tell exactly what the problem was. But I, as a professional, I knew that it was the font. So the font is very important. Font. Run away from cursive fonts. Run away from fonts that are childish. Only when you can only use it when you are presenting to a group of children. All right. Yeah. So I've talked about this. It's just like a repetition. Pick simple fonts. Okay. Make sure the size is big enough for your audience to get. Color schemes. I've talked about colors. Use colors to make impact. Use colors to make impact. Don't use dark background color and a dark text color. It will not, be visible for your audience. All right. Layouts. Make sure it is simple. Make sure your layouts are simple, and arrange every element and make sure they are aligned. Don't just place things anyhow on your slide. Simplicity is key. Simplicity is key. I'm saying you should make your slide visually appealing. I'm not saying you should make it visual, heavy on colors, heavy on visuals, everything scattered everywhere. Make sure it is simple and make sure it is well arranged. Okay, like these two examples, you see that the second option is simple, yet it communicates the idea. Okay. Alignment. Make sure all your elements are aligned. Okay, look at these options. Make sure everything is aligned. Only if you have a story you want to say with the first option here, but if not, please make sure everything aligns. All right. Thank you very much for your time. I intended to make this a live session so that my audience can ask questions, but my network was acting up, so I decided to record it and I'll send it to all registered members. I'm hoping that next week, when we'll be talking about we'll be talking about the 7 deadly mistakes people make when they create PowerPoint. The internet will be working fine then, so I'll be able to take your questions and answers. However, if you have questions, you have comments, this is my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter handle. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and ask your questions and paste your comment. I am looking forward to it. I'm really interested in it. And again, I have an announcement I'll be sending across to your email. It's about the Presentation Design Academy. It's an online academy, and for being a part of this webinar, you'll be having a free access to some of our courses. All right. Thank you very much, and go and make impact with your presentation. Bye bye.